Thank you, Terry. Je suis matin, just to remove any confusion. How many religious fundamentalists does it take to change a light bulb? None. Those fuckers hate the Enlightenment. You may have found my use of the word religious fundamentalist slightly offensive, though. You may find it slightly offensive. Somebody told me recently that allowing Richard Dawkins to have a Twitter account was like letting a baboon have a crossbow. I mean, I think that's quite funny. I don't know about you, Richard. You may be deeply offended by that last comment. You may be deeply offended by the fact that Prospect magazine has actually judged the very venerable professors Dawkins and Grayling to be less great thinkers than Russell Brand. The point is, the world is full of offensive things. Because offensive things are funny. The world is full of laughter, the world is full of humour, the world is full of mockery. It's one of the most human things we do. We laugh at the world around us to stop us from crying at it. We laugh at death, we laugh at our friends, we laugh at our enemies, we laugh at sex, we laugh at shit. We laugh at all those things which would otherwise drive us insane with the full horror of it. And one of the things we laugh at and we mock with such beautiful precision as a species is those people who place themselves or their opinions in authority over us. Throughout human history, we've managed to somehow mediate the horror of these boneheaded wankers telling us they're better than us by laughing at them behind their backs, or as we can in this country, and as I have done for many years, laugh in their stupid faces. We are enormously privileged to be able to do that in this country. Shabak will know that in Turkey this week, 2 cartoonists have been fined very heavily for the simple crime of drawing the president looking a bit thick. Last year, Musa Kart was on trial with the threat of a 10-year prison sentence for doing a cartoon of the Turkish president, making him look a bit thick. 10 years prior to that, he was fined a lot of money. He got off the jail sentence, thank God. Thank whoever it is who shoots him. 10 years previous to that, he was fined a huge amount of money for drawing Erdogan as a cat. When I was in Istanbul about 18 months ago, I was talking to a bunch of cartoonists and they said, well, how would you draw Erdogan? I said, I would never draw him as anything as nice as a cat, for God's sake. We also have the cartoonist of Jesus and Mo in the room, I believe. You don't have to stand up, don't draw attention to yourself, even here. And Terry was talking about how we now have this notion of safe spaces for students, so they won't be exposed to cartoons like Jesus and Mo, which I think is very funny. I think it's a wonderful cartoon. And I think we should applaud it, actually. I think Jesus and Mo is a great. And yet, even at that level, we are in danger of having so much respect for each other, in a nice way, that we end up saying nothing about anybody for fear that they might lose that greatest of human rights, the thing that trumps everything else, that trumps freedom of expression, that trumps equal treatment before the law, which trumps everything. The terrible danger that you might get slightly upset. Well, fuck them, basically. Fuck them. And I wanted also to say, in accepting this award on behalf of my murdered colleagues and comrades at Charlie Hebdo, that, true, Walensky, 80 years old, was shot on the 7th of January. Philippe Honoré, 75 years old, was shot on the 7th of January. Cabou, a man who appeared on French children's TV for decades, who was part of the cultural DNA of France, was shot, aged 74, on the 7th of January. So too was Shab, the editor-in-chief, and Martinius, the man I met 20 years ago at an Irish cartoon festival. Can you imagine what an Irish cartoon festival was like? Those people were colleagues of mine. And my community, if you want to call it that, was deeply horrified. I'm still feeling slightly in shock because it's quite clear that people want to kill us. But we must never forget that they were in the minority of people murdered that day. The first person to be shot by those two maniacs was Frederick Rowson. Frederick Rowson was the building maintenance manager. And this is the horrible thing, this is the truly horrible thing. The cheapness of human life in the minds of people who think their freedom from being mildly upset trumps everything else. If Al-Qaeda in the Yemen or Islamic State can now launch fatwas against building service managers, then actually we might as well all just shut up forever and give up. Because at the end of the day, nothing, absolutely nothing, is ever as offensive as killing somebody else. Thank you very much.